And that moves us on to Nico's pick of the week and our final movie, The Witch.
That's right. The final film, The Witch.
The Vivitch.
The Witch. So, guys, this film is about a witch, okay? Or is it? What witch could it be? Which witch are we talking about here exactly? So this film, it features a family, okay? It features a family they're like some fucking weird fringe part of Christianity, okay? They're like Quakers or some shit. I'm not entirely sure. I think they might say it at some point. But they're living in this ho-dank town, and they get kicked out because of their religious beliefs. So they have to just like go and live off on their own, just like on a little farm or whatever. Just like try and make ends meet. But things ain't so great out there in the vast wilderness. As our main character, who's played by fucking Anya Taylor-Joy, she's just watching her little bouncy baby brother, and he ends up getting disappeared. Now, initially, the family's like, well, maybe it was just like a wolf or something, because the father saw like some wolf tracks or some shit. But we immediately see that he's getting ground up and cooked into some porridge by a witch who's just smothering that baby all over her skin. And as the film progresses, we just get the eerie feeling that there just ain't something right in these woods. The family slowly starts to like get real paranoid and accusing each other of being witches and shit. And slowly, these supernatural elements are creeping more and more into their lives as children start dying, twins start screaming at goats, and eventually the father ends up being destroyed underneath all of his wood that he's stacked up. And then, our main character, Anya Taylor-Joy, she decides, you know what? Fuck this, I'm gonna become a witch myself, and she does. The end.
This movie was alright.
Yeah, so before Tanner, you said like, oh, I've heard that this movie's really scary.
I had heard from people that they really liked this movie and thought it was really scary. And then I watch it, I'm like, this movie is pretty mid, and it's not scary at all.
I definitely don't think it's scary at all, but I would not go as far as to say it's mid. It builds up a very, claustrophobic atmosphere pretty quickly. And
it does atmosphere very well.
Pretty much the entire time, it's just like kind of like on edge and just waiting for something to go wrong, because it feels like at any moment something really bad could happen.
Yeah, I'll say the two big pros of this movie, in my estimation, are, it builds atmosphere very well, and I thought the performance by the father was very good.
Oh, yeah, his performance was super strong. I really like this is a very nice period piece, like the fucking set design, their outfits, the way in which they speak, it's all like just spot on. I'm a massive fan of that stuff.
Yeah. Now, here's my big problem, though.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand witches at all.
Yeah.
I have absolutely zero context for why the witch is doing any of this. Mm-hmm. And since this movie is only an hour and a half long, they very easily could have done... So, like, for example, they bring the kid back and he's been possessed or something? And the mom says, oh, it looks like witchcraft, doesn't it? From that very line, I feel like we could have then just established, okay, the wife kinda knows, like, rumors about how witches work, and then you could have thrown in 2 or 3 sentences of, oh, witches are, like, after this, or they're motivated by this, or something. Like, give me, as the audience member, something that makes me understand why anything that is happening in the movie is happening.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
also, the point of the movie is that it's not really like telling you anything; it's leaving a lot up to interpretation.
Yeah, exactly. Because like a lot of this stuff, it's like it's kind of just like it's a folk tale, They're kind of just like these sort of like sayings and stuff like that. They get passed around a lot. So what exactly this is happening isn't going to be entirely clear. It'll just kind of be like some little things that they've heard that have been passed on through word of mouth and stuff like that as to what exactly is going on here.
Okay.
Fun little detail I saw about this movie is apparently throughout the entire movie their corn has like mold growing on it.
Yeah.
And like it just gets like progressively worse as it goes on. So like there's a lot of like subtle things with this movie that I didn't really like catch on the first watch through. Like with that, for example, you could totally explain the fact that they're all just going crazy and none of it's even happened at all. They're just going crazy because they're fucking eating a bunch of mold. Or like being around it. Also, I don't even know if like necessarily witches are even like the point of this movie. You could also totally just interpret it as like the devil possessing this goat as like the whole bad guy, and the witches are just kind of like there doing their own fucking thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways in which you can interpret the events throughout this entire film. Because, like, the twins are very obviously some nefarious little beings, They've been corrupted by the devil himself and are speaking to that Black Phillip, that goat, that dang old goat there. And one of the things they do like hint at like the family sins and stuff like that being why they're being like, you know, sort of like torn down and shit like this. They kind of hit it like pretty on the nose with the father specifically, as he's talking about like his pride being his downfall and stuff like that. As we see, it's like, you know, his fucking beliefs and stuff like that, not wanting to like conform to society and the general like town and stuff like that, or why his family's gotten into this entire mess. Just because, like, you know, he wants them to have their own beliefs, but at the same time, he is entirely inept from being able to actually take care of them at all. Like, they're not able to grow anything. He's a terrible hunter. He's not able to get any food for them. The only thing he's capable of doing is chopping wood, and eventually that ends up being like what kills him, you know.
You also got the wife who is, like, not helping at all. She even, like, described it herself. She's going fucking crazy because her kid died.
Yeah.
But she's literally more on the line of selling their fucking daughter to some family than selling their fucking father's cup.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up familial situation, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of putting it.
Their house looks very cozy, though.
Yeah. And, you know, aside from, like, just the father, we do see, like, the son, for example. Like, he's getting a little, he's wanting to get a little frisky with his sister, you know? He's starting to get to that age. He's getting real curious. He wants to explore his, like, lustful side a little bit, and that ends up being, like, his downfall as he sees a hot young witch who he wants to get a little poo-tang action from, who ends up, you know, possessing him or some shit and killing him.
Yeah, his speech was really weird at the end, too, because it was like he was fucking, like, confessing his love to Jesus, which was weird as shit to watch and very unsettling.
Now, we know you love Jesus, but it's really starting to sound like you're in love with Jesus.
Yeah, which I guess ties into, like, the lust thing. But, yeah, I think overall, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a really clever watch. I think the whole, like, acting and set design and everything around, like, the 1600s period was insanely well done. He did a really good job just making it feel like you're back there. So that was really cool. Other than I can't fucking understand what people are saying without subtitles, but that's just how it is. I probably couldn't understand them if I was back there anyways. But yeah, I think overall, actually, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a fair bit as well. I think that it's kind of hard to rate it right now because I feel like it'll just kind of like improve with future watchings as you just like are able to pick up more on the symbolism and stuff like that with the future viewings and stuff like that. But I mean, like as it is now, I still enjoyed it a fair bit. So I think if Tanner has nothing else that he wants to say about it,
I don't.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this film an A.
Nico, I also gave it an A.
Whoa.
I'm conveniently picking just ranks that other people also picked this week.
Yeah.
Dylan gave it a B+. Your point that it is kind of like folklore in film version, and that's why stuff isn't clear, has swayed me slightly, but not swayed me a ton. I'll give this one. I'm gonna give it a C.
Damn. That is fairly lower.
Yeah, it sounds like it's one of my reoccurring problems where I'm too stupid to understand symbolism. Yeah. So if this movie is heavily reliant on symbolism for thinking it's good, then, you know, I'm not going to get it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, there are a lot of, like, ties to the Garden of Eden and stuff like that if you, like, really try and look for it. And
the what?
Yeah, anyway, that put that shit at a B+, our most common rank. B+, baby.
Fantastic.
With the other 40 moving that rank.